Let's then proceed into our joint top 10 films, and this is the film at number 10.
What kind of movie are we gonna make?
You dismiss what he does. It's playful or imaginative. You could afford to be a little encouraging.
She should have been a concert piano player. What she got in her heart is what you got.
You can't just love something, you also have to take care of it. It's more important than your hobby. Can you stop calling it a hobby?
So this is Spielberg's pet project, as it were, his life story. Although I do object to the fact he didn't call it the Spielbergs and call it the Fabelmans instead. I think it'd be a better film or a better appeal to the film if it had been called Absolutely. The Fabelmans. Yeah, but so that's number. So the Fabelmans got two of us voting for it. One giving it a score of 14 and the other one giving it a score of 13 for a combined total of 27.
Obviously, we didn't take Dan's minus numbers into account, but I will quite happily let you count mine in this one.
Yes, I know. Somebody put this in their worst. Why did you not like it as much? Emma?
Self-indulgent nonsense.
Really? I didn't find it that way at all. But I didn't find it that way. But yeah, okay. All right. That just shows how much we differ, doesn't it, when we look at these films. Let's move on to our number 9 film collectively. And this was a bit of a crowd pleaser.
You can find me under the lights, diamonds under my eyes.
This is the best day ever. It is the best day ever. So is yesterday, and so is tomorrow, and every day from now until forever. Do you guys ever think about dying?
So, of course, this is the smash hit of the summer that made cinema owners happy up and down the country. It has made $1.4 billion so far at the box office. Barbie, of course. This one actually got votes from 4 out of the 5 of us. I think, Andy, you were probably the exception on this one.
I definitely was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Somebody giving it 17 points. I think that was possibly you, Emma, was it? Did you have that high in your list?
No, it only just made the cut on my list.
I think I was the highest in that one, probably, Bob.
I think you might have been then. Yeah, let me have a look.
It didn't make
I'm not going to say that was a bit. I'm not going to say that was a bit sexist, you guess there, Bob. But
I just thought it was an Emma type of film. That's all. That's all.
I mean, you're not wrong there.
There were no sharks in it. Actually, there was a shark in it, wasn't there?
Yeah. There was a shark
there was.
in it. Yeah,
there was a shark. It's a shark film, Emma. Yeah. Yes, actually, Scott put it as his 4th favourite film of the year. So there you go. That's what helped Barbie get up there. All the rest of us didn't rate it very highly. It was in our bottom half of the table, between 10 and 20. But that's how it got there. So number 9. Yeah. Number 9 was Barbie. Here's our number 8 choice.
Oh, bliss. Bliss, bliss, bliss. Oh, this song. God, I haven't heard this song in forever. I used to hang out with them all, actually, when I was modelling. Britpop, Blur, Oasis, goth, parties. But then, of course, Common People came out, and everybody thought it was written about me, which was completely mortifying and ridiculous. I mean, I barely knew Jarvis. What? But she came from Greece. She had a thirst for knowledge. It couldn't have been me. I've never wanted to know anything.
That, of course, is Emil Fidel's Saltburn, who I very nearly got to get a picture with at the BFI before she was whipped away by a PR person, giving me the most beautiful apologetic smile, because I was obviously there waiting for a picture. Well. You remember? She got whipped away, and it was lovely. It was lovely. I will treasure that smile.
Look on your face was a picture, Bob.
That was good. Anyway, so that is Saltburn. That got votes from myself and from Dan, in fact. None of you guys put it in your top 20s, but that was enough to get it up high up into our combined scores.
Wow.
And that gets our number 8 slot. Moving on, we've got a film at number 7, which I think, again, Emma might disagree with. Here we go.
Miles!
Yeah. Okay.
Wanna
Finally.
get out of here? Wherever you go from here, you have to promise to take care of that little boy for me. Make sure he never forgets where he came from. And he never doubts that he is loved.
So, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, of course. There's lots of people shaking their heads there. I'm trying to see who voted for this.
Finally, one of mine's made the top 10.
Yeah. That one came from you, Andy. It also came very high up in Dan's list. So Dan voted it. That is number 3 film of the year.
What was so special about that one? It was like watching a comic book being brought to life. Pages turning and everything, bubbles, everything, speech bubbles, but the pages turning as well. I just thought it was just so brilliantly animated.
I enjoyed it as well. I have to say, it was in my 20 to 30 list, but I know you younger folks didn't like it at all. I don't think.
Surprising.
We'll be talking about that in a later list.
Yes, I think we will be. Okay, moving on. Another crowd pleaser that I remember we were very positive about on the podcast. Here's our number 6 choice.
Monsieur, I fear this will not be a kind place to such a boy.
The boy has talent, but one in particular that is exceptional.
Very well.
I realized the more I excelled, the less I was alone.
Were you always so competitive?
So that, of course, is Chevalier, which made Andy's list, and also I think it was number 2 or number 3. Number 3 in your list, Scott.
It was
Number
indeed.
8 in mine. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, it's post-Oscars film of the year so far. It just got me on every level with the filmmaking, the performances. I just had a great time. Enjoyed the historical epic that it was, and the music.
Yeah,
the music was unbelievable. Just fabulous.
Fantastic.
Again, in my 20 to 30 list, so it didn't quite make my top 20, but again, very solid film. Some of you have got a very violent nature. Here's our number 5 film.
Get down on your knees. Fuck him up! We got gold!
Yeah, because machine gun bullets never pass through a person, do they? Yeah, that never happened in JFK either. Yeah. No bullets pass through a body. It can always protect you from machine gun bullets. Yeah, everybody knows that. Totally true. So that, of course, was Sisu, which was the completely out there Finnish adventure movie, which was kind of Tarantino without Tarantino directing it. But yeah, I agree. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Didn't make my list.
So much fun.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet, unfortunately.
Have you not? Oh, that's
You've got to see it.
That's a New Year one for you to catch up on.
No,
so
it's on Pirates King, of course.
Yeah. So that made 3 of our lists. Didn't make my list. Scott's never seen it, so it must be Emma and Andy. Yeah, all kind of middle ranking for them, and also Dan. So it got reasonable scores from all 3 of you for that one. Okay, we're getting up the list. Here's our number 4 film. Can't see many people arguing with this one.
What a good story this is. childhood sweethearts who reconnect 20 years later and realize they were meant for each other. In the story, I would be the evil white American husband standing in the way of destiny.
Shut up. He was just this kid in my head for such a long time. I think I just missed him.
Did he miss you?
Celine Song's Past Lives, of course, which I know a lot of people have a lot of love for this film, and I think it's going to feature heavily in the Oscars next year. Surely one of the tensest closing scenes in just about any film this year. Forget your adventure movies. The ending, last 5 minutes of that film was really up there. 3 of us voted for that one. And yeah, high up in Andy's list, high up in my list, and also I think it made Dan's list as well.
Yeah, I had it at number 3.
Yeah.
Of the year, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. This is our number 3 combined. And again, I think Andy will like this because I think this is an Andy. If I really liked Typist Artist Pirate King, right, that would be up here as well. But we both really saw and liked this one.
Come on.
Miss Hanbury, you and your sister is her mysterious invention, Lola.
Lola is a system of electrical processes which allows us to observe broadcasts from the future.
This is magnificent. It's beautiful. It's going to change history.
This is the true magic.
Movies, royal weddings, a musical rebellion, signals beamed around the world.
Because of this pioneering work, this marks a huge turning point in the war against Nazi Germany.
So that was Andrew Legg's Lola. Have you actually seen Lola, Emma and Scott?
No, not yet.
Oh, another one to add to your New Year list. It's an absolutely cracking little time-travelling sci-fi film. And I was blown away when I saw this. It so cleverly takes newsreel footage and inserts it into the film with a twist, with some CGI added to it, or special effects added to it.
You and I got
really,
to meet
really
Andrew
clever.
Legg, Bob, didn't we?
We did, yes.
Which was
yes.
a treat of the year. And he did say his next film's going to be sci-fi as well, he told us.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Very interesting director to watch because, that one must have been made on a shoestring. It also has songs by Neil Hannon, who, of course, did Wonka. And there's some very clever songs in Lola from Neil Hannon as well, if you like Divine Comedy.
I had it at number 2. I just thought it was fabulous.
Yeah, and that's why it's there. You had it at number 2, I had it at number 3, and that's what got it there. And here's my number 1 in at our joint number 2.
We're in a race against the Nazis. And I know what it means if the Nazis have a bomb.
They have a 12-month head start.
18.
How could you possibly know that?
We've got one hope. All America's industrial might and scientific innovation connected here. A secret laboratory. Keep everyone there until it's done.
Let's go recruit some scientists.
For Nolan's Oppenheimer, of course, the other half of the Barbenheimer weekend. That one got votes from 3 of us with a score of 42 overall. So, again, pretty impressive across the board. Positive views of that film. But it's not going to beat our number 1. What do you think the number 1 is? It's the only film that all of us gave points to.
I can make an educated guess.
Out of all the films in 2023, this was the only one that all of us gave votes to, and it was this one.
つの未来を守ってやりたい。
That still gives me goosebumps watching that
Yeah,
clip.
I know.
me too.
Where you first see him.
And for our audio listeners, that had a double whammy of a lot of sound effects and Japanese language, so apologies for that, but I'll leave all that in. And of course, is Godzilla -1, which, and the reason it's at the top of the list is that two of us gave it top marks as our film of the year. That was Dan and who else was it? Was it you, Emma? Emma, yeah. And then we had votes of 16, 6, and 2 as well. I'm afraid I was a 2, so I only put it at number 18 in the list. I may need to give it another watch, actually, because this is a film I have thought about more than a lot of films after I've watched them. So that got a score of 64 points compared to the second place of 42. So it wasn't just our number one film, it was number one film by a country mile. So that is our top 10 and the points assigned to them. Actually, sorry, Lola and Past Lives were not 3 and 4. They were actually equal third. They both got 37 points. So I didn't correct the video for that, but I should make that clear. And actually, we were very, very diverse in the films that we liked. So out of our top 20, there was 5 of us giving our top 20s, which could give us a maximum possible number of films of 100 different films. But we managed to get up to 68 films in those combined lists, which is quite impressive. So there were lots of films that we named in our top 20s, which only one of us out of the 5 named, which is quite extraordinary how diverse it is. And there were only 4 films that got more than 2 votes in the top 20. There's Godzilla -1 with 5. Barbie got 4 of us to vote for it, but not particularly highly. Oppenheimer had 3 of us, and Sisu had 3 of us as well. So again, it reflects just how diverse our tastes are. But I guess that's a good thing. If we look at the individual top 10s that we've got, so this is my top 10 with Oppenheimer at the top. I've put how many other people voted for it. So two other people voted for it. Nobody voted for Fallen Leaves. So my top 10 for the audio listeners is Oppenheimer at 1, Past Lives at 2, Lola at 3, Fallen Leaves that nobody else voted for at 4, Saltburn at 5, Roy Lane at 6, Wonka at 7. I seem to be the only person who really liked Wonka. There's one other person gave it points, but The Fabelmans at 8, Apocalypse Clown, which I was the only one to like Apocalypse Clown. I looked on IMDb and it's only got an IMDb rating of 5.4, so I'm clearly wrong in the head for really loving that film. And Missing at number 10, which just fell out of our top 10, in fact. I think, Scott, you voted highly for Missing as well.
I voted for Missing highly as well, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really solid, good film if you've not seen it. Moving on to me. And no surprise what's at Andy's top of the list. It's Typist Artist Pirate King. Only because we haven't seen it yet. Lola at number 2. Past Lives at number 3, The Great Escaper at number 4, Godzilla -1 at number 5, No One Will Save You, which is the Caitlin Dever horror film set in a house with aliens, at number 6. Again, that was the only vote for that. Surprisingly, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny didn't get any votes from anybody else as well, but Andy's got it at number 7. Chevalier at number 8, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse at number 9, and Oppenheimer, at number 10. Looking at Emma's list, a lot more.
Red lines.
A lot more red, and we love your diverse taste, Emma. We really do. At number 1, she's got Godzilla -1. At number 2, Next Girl Wins, which I saw last week. I thought it was pleasant enough without being spectacular, but there you go. Number 3, Smoking Causes Coughing, which again was a crazy film from earlier in the year. Number 4 is The Whale. Number 5 is Slaughterhouse, which I never got to see.
I'm just very upset that no one else has seen that and voted for it.
Emma, now you know how I feel.
You're fine.
Right. Number 6, we've got Saw X. Number 7, we've got Sisu. Number 8, another really solid, about the only solid Marvel film, I think, this year. Maybe The Eternals was half decent. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And number 9, Scott's shaking his head. You'll have your comeback. Number 9, we've got Sly, the Sylvester Stallone documentary on Netflix. I think that's the only documentary we've got in our list. And number 10, Knock at the Cabin, the M. Night Shyamalan film.
Shamalama Ding Dong.
Shamalama Ding Dong. Which I thought was okay, but I didn't particularly rate it. Why did you love that one so much, Emma?
I honestly, like Dave Bautista, who knew he could act that well?
That's true. That's true. Not just big and brawny, but he can act as well. Yeah. I can't remember why I was ho-hum about Knock at the Cabin, but I probably need to read my review.
Films, the setup's brilliant, but the ending let it down. I
remember the ending.
He can't end films anymore. Yeah.
I wanted it to go one of two ways, and it didn't go either way, as I remember it. Yeah. So here's Scott's top 10. Again, a lot of red, but some very solid red films in here, I have to say. They didn't quite make my list, but Creed 3, I could absolutely stand behind that and watch that again. That was a really solid film. Again, that was in my 20 to 30 list. A Man Called Otto at number 2. Chevalier at number 3, Barbie at number 4. You're the only one who voted for the Marvels at number 5.
I'm very surprised because I remember when we reviewed this, I think we were all very positive, or there was a lot of high scores in that.
It is in my, so I put it as my 16 on my list. So
it would have been in my
actually,
30 to
I did
20.
put it on my 16, Bob. That should say 1.
Ooh.
Oh, do we have a recount, Bob?
Oh, so we did have a steward's inquiry on this, and indeed, due to a clerical error on my part, I did omit Emma's scores for the Marvels, so my apologies for that. At number 6, we've got The Sun. At number 7, we've got a film which I think was on Netflix, wasn't it? Which is Devotion, which I remember you... Prime, right, but you were very positive about that film, still not seen it. Number 8 is the film we were talking about before, Missing, with an excellent performance by Storm Reid. And a very, very clever, twisty plot, I have to say. There's a twist in that film that comes, and I never saw it coming, and it's a corker. And then 2, Hindi film at number 9, Mission Rani Ganj, which I think was Top Gun Maverick on a low budget in India, wasn't it? Wasn't it that one?
No, that was Tejas. Mission Rani Ganj was the one with the miners.
Oh, yes, I remember. Yeah, I remember it now. Right.
Yeah, that did look good.
And at number 10, we've got The Boston Strangler, which, again, I haven't seen. There's a few on your list, Scott, which I need to add to my list because I've not seen that one. Okay, and finally, on these lists, we've got Dan's choice. Dan, who is the big Godzilla fan, stuck Godzilla -1 at number 1. He also stuck Talk to Me at number 2. I put that in my list as well, but right down the list, I think, at number 20. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse at number 3. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On at number 4, which I know a lot of us didn't care for, but Dan clearly did. At number 5, The Evil Dead Rise. At number 6, Blue Jean, which I agree is a very solid film.
That was very good.
The good film.
Yeah. Number 7, The Fabelmans. Number 8, Saltburn. Number 9, Sisu. And number 10, Oppenheimer. So that is our top 10 films.